miss my dad. It is really weird that he's still alive, and I miss him a ton. I'm glad to be able to take the time to keep him in memory, to record it when my memory might even go, and whether it's from a disease or just from time. So hi, Dad.
Well, hi, Doug.
How are you?
Compared with?
It's a good question. I have all these anecdotal things and events of his that I love to tell or love to be told. And then I'm like, I'm not gonna remember this, of course. So I recorded that. I was able to put that up against only 2 years later, and to show that juxtaposition. Most people don't get that level of experience to a detail of making a short documentary about it to train themselves up on it. And even then, I still wasn't ready. He was actually the first one to really call it out. It was actually at my uncle's wake. My dad made a speech about him, and he said, I got that stuff clanging around in my brain too. It was a bit of a gift to kind of hear it from him. And I think when people are able to identify that themselves early on, it is great to signal that for the rest of your family. Let's start talking now. Let's not wait till it's a problem. COVID accelerated the pain of it, the intensity and the confusion, and just put an entire pandemic on top of someone already going through an experience that was tough on me, not anywhere close to how tough it was on my mom, who's now isolated with someone who is progressing very quickly. She misses him, of course, and she has hope. Not hope that he's gonna get better, but looks for any little instance where she can see him as her best friend and is together to the end. And she's very much living into that relationship and support till death do us part. She was there. It's really powerful. So there's one time I'm just coming back from an errand with a friend, and he kind of runs up to the car in the driveway, and I get out, I'm like, hey, what's up, Dad? He's like, we have a problem. Your mother has joined the PGA, and I need her to withdraw, and I don't know how. I was like, oh, okay. Well, don't worry, she has not joined the PGA, and you're watching golf, so that's where it's coming from. But what's happening is he's not getting satiated, or he's not getting closure on that, however his brain is working. So he just keeps coming up to me over the next hour. Finally, I just went, hold on a second, how is this helping? I went up to my dad and I just said, Dad, I called the PGA. I told them that they have to withdraw your mother from the PGA, and they said that you're in good financial standing, there's no cost to you at all. He's like, thank you so much, I could kiss you. That's when I just realized where I'm like, oh, it's not so much about correcting and being right. It's about being able to satisfy whatever it is that's triggering his brain in that. And yes, it is kind of fibbing and lying, but it's for the benefit of everybody because he never brought it up again. It is the stories that get us through this. It's the stories that have helped me with my dad and preparing for his experience, and me telling the stories to other people about just my experience can help so much more than just a list of things that potentially might happen. I know that in his spirit of helping people, that telling these stories, if it helped one person, then it's worth it. And I know he's okay me talking about this stuff and actually being pretty candid about it, because I know he would himself. I'm a pretty candid person, and I get it from him. How did I tell the girls about them? Luckily, they had some time with him. I think I would tell them he's just, he was an incredibly generous man, a guy who worked really hard. His biggest regret was he didn't get to see his kids as much as he would have wanted to, because he traveled a lot. He was someone who was so generous with his time, with money, with his skill set, and just his candor. I just hope I can inspire my kids to do the same with and I will, because they have part of him in them as well. It really is a disease that requires support, and I feel for those who don't have it. So the more that people can get educated, know what kind of supports they're going to need, and know what to expect is going to be what makes something manageable versus something completely chaotic. Having services and having organizations like the Alzheimer Society to be able to support in arguably one of the hardest times of someone's life. And so I have a lot of hope in the sense that we can bring as much attention to this disease. I believe we can cure it. And until then, we can help people as best as we can until we find a cure.